Welcome back to the 2-minute timeouts. You cannot see my face in this. As you can see, we are on playoffpredictors.com. And you want to know why? Because we are predicting every single college football game, and then I will be giving you my college football playoff predictions. This also includes conference winners, and you guys are going to be surprised by my answers. Here's the thing about me, folks. I pick a lot of upsets, and I know it's not going to happen as much as people are going to think and as much as I think of the college football world, but I'm going to pick upsets. And you're going to be surprised the final standings in these conferences. I'm high on a couple teams, and me being high on them just meaning they get 3 or 4 more wins than they did last season and show improvement. There are a lot of guys on the hot seat, and I think a lot of those guys on the hot seat keep their jobs for the next season. Let's get into it with what I think Week 0 will be better than Week 1. There's not as many high-caliber games in Week 0, but I think there are a lot more games that have a chance to be close. That being Virginia and NC State. I think that will be the best game. North Dakota State's first game in the FBS level. They host Jacksonville State. I think that's going to be close. Hawaii and Stanford. That went down to a game-winning field goal last season. And Hawaii's not going to be good this year. Or Stanford's not going to be good this year. But watch out for Hawaii. And then Sacramento State, their first ever FBS game. 2 probably bottom feeders in the MAC. But you never know. It's football's back. And, of course, UNLV and Memphis, from 12 to 10:30, all those time slots are going to have an appealing game. Let's get right into it. These are not like in order based on dates and times because it says to be determined. I think the North Dakota State game, 5:30 or something. But give me North Dakota State in their first ever FBS game to win against Jacksonville State. A Jacksonville State team that I think can be in the running for Conference USA. I'm not going to talk about every game into depth because we got a lot to get into. Hawaii and Stanford. Hawaii, I said watch out for them. And they're going on the road, but there is negative atmosphere in Stanford. Stanford's QB, Davis Mills. They have a new head coach, Tavita Pritchard. But I love Hawaii's quarterback, Micah I don't even know how to say his last name, but he's a sophomore, a redshirt sophomore, played a little bit at the end of this season, at the end of his freshman season, and then his first start last season in Week 0 at home. He was a dog. They came back from down double digits and led him to a game-winning field goal. Florida State, I think Mike Norvell, he's one of, if not the number one guy on the hot seat because of Florida State's historic program. New Mexico State only had 1 win last season. They were horrible. Eastern Michigan, like I said, 2 bottom feeders in the MAC, but Eastern Michigan does have the home field advantage in Sac State. I don't even know what's going on. Memphis has a new head coach, the head coach coming over from Southern Miss, who was only there at 1 season before coming over from Marshall because of the Marshall dispute that he had 2 seasons ago. He was the guy who was head coach when Marshall upset Notre Dame that season. UNLV and Memphis. UNLV's at home. I believe Jackson Arnold, former 5-star, is going to be the starting quarterback for UNLV, if not already announced. Dan Mullen, UNLV, the past couple of seasons since the playoff has expanded, they've been in the running the last 2 years, and I would not be shocked if they're in the running again, maybe even sneak into the college football playoff. USC, a lot of hope. San Diego State, not going to be that good. TCU, UNC not expecting to be that good. Billy Edwards, transfer from Wisconsin, barely played last season due to an injury. He's their starting quarterback. And then Craig, the transfer from Harvard. I think TCU has an average season. Sonny Dykes, not going to have the type of season that they did when they made it to the conference or the national championship. I think it'll be close to halftime because it's first games. This is the first game being played in the new college football season, but I think TCU does run away with it, and then I got Virginia. Yes, Virginia. I'm happy this game is being played at home. Don't mind the ads. NC State and Virginia, two dark horses. NC State always seems to get to 8-9 wins. Can't get to that double-digit wins usually. But I like what Bo Pribula brings to the table. I love their head coach, and it's at home. A beautiful stadium. We saw what it was like when they rushed the field against Florida State. It's going to be packed. It's going to be sold out. And I think that home field advantage is why I'm going to pick a lot of teams to win early on. Now we head to week 1. The Thursday night games are not the best. We're going to speed through these. Wake Forest, Akron's not going to be that good. Minnesota, Kennesaw, Missouri, Rutgers, Utah, UCF, Delaware. And this is the only good Friday/Thursday game, in my opinion, because Miami and Stanford play. Could be a trap game, especially if Stanford does have a win under the belt, but I don't think so. Georgia Tech and Colorado. Georgia Tech, new quarterback, could be Albert Mendoza. They're at home. Colorado lost a heartbreaker last season. And it feels like these type of out-of-conference games, week 1, can dictate how your season went. We saw what Georgia Tech was after letting Haynes King run it in for the game-winning touchdown late in the fourth quarter. They were not the same. Julian Lewis, former 5-star, picked Colorado over Indiana. I think he's going to regret that commitment. I think Georgia Tech handles them. It's going to be close because both teams got to get their feet wet, but traveling across the nation and being at home, Georgia Tech under the lights. Hopefully it's a sold-out game. Kansas going to smoke them. Georgia State. Watch out for Georgia State. I think Eastern Michigan's 1-0 already, and I think it keeps going. Miami, I think they're going to slaughter Stanford, who's already 0-1. USF, Brian Hartford, new guy there. But at home, FIU, very underrated season last season, 8-4. Top 5, I believe, in Conference USA after the season before, barely, getting 3 wins. But you never know. This is the late game on ESPN. 2 new head coaches. I think Cal does get it a gun. I do like their quarterback, and I think they got a couple big wins this season at home in Berkeley. I think it does come down to a clutch Bearcats game-winning drive late in the fourth quarter. Southern Mitt's going to smoke them. Same with San Diego State, who I'm high on very much this season. Did you know they went 9-3 last season? They went 9-3. They didn't play in the Mountain West Championship, I don't believe, but that was a very, very calm and quiet 9-3 season. Would not be surprised if the Aztecs bounce back again. A couple of seasons ago, remember, early 2020s, they were actually a top 25 team. Utah State's going to win. North Dakota State keeps their streak going. Mississippi State winning. Georgia Southern, another team that I'm very high on. Oklahoma State, the first time we see the new Cowboys, the North Texas Cowboys, if you could say, many transfers coming over. Drew Messemaker, what does he have? This is actually a very pricey ticket. It's like near $100. It is being played in Tulsa's campus, so maybe the home field advantage is there, but I think the offense finally wakes up. Maybe they struggle in the first or second quarter, but they wake up. And we get to see what the Cowboys have because next week, the week after this, they play Oregon. So you can't overlook Tulsa. I think they are a very underrated team in the American, can make some noise. Very good offense. Don't know about the defense. And they did go into Stillwater last season. As we know, that was the last game Mike Gundy coached in the black and orange. Iowa State, not going to be as good with Matt Campbell leaving. We'll get through these games pretty quickly. Just picking, most of these games are FBS versus FCS, and I'm just not picking FCS schools. Duke and Tulane. Tulane's going to take a step back, in my opinion, even though John Summerall did great once he took over at Tulane after, I forgot his name, went to Houston, but I don't see Tulane keeping that luck going and that streak going with their head coaches. Excuse me. Duke, I think they have a step back. They don't have quarterbacks. They're losing a lot of good wide receivers, and that offense is going to be the same. Manny Diaz, going to have a sound defense. He's a defensive-minded head coach. That'll definitely be a test because they go on to Champaign and play Illinois the week afterwards. We're just picking through Hawaii and UNLV. This could be in week 1 to both teams playing home, or both teams playing very good teams in week 0. If both teams are 1-0, I could see this being a game that dictates who gets in to the college football playoff as a G5 school. I know the rules have changed, but still a G5 school is going to get in. Hawaii at home, I think after coming off of a big, you could say, but it's Stanford. It's still a G5 school going on the road against a Power 4 school and a historic football franchise in Stanford, even though they haven't been this good in the past decade. I think they hold on, get a massive Mountain West victory to show we are here and we are going to be a team to mess with just in the overall stance, because I think they have a pretty easy schedule. Stanford and at Arizona State are the 2 Power 4 schools that they play, and they play the 2 toughest G5 schools that they play are New Mexico and UNLV. UNLV went 10-2, and then New Mexico went 9-3 last season. But both of those games are at home, so I think the long distance and home field advantage helps them. Liberty and JMU, rivalry game. Liberty, a team that actually received votes. They received a vote for the top 25. They did not do as good, but there's a lot of high hope for Liberty. James Madison, what are we going to see with a new coach? Again, like Tulane, they have their old head coach leave and have success in a Power 4 school, and then their new coach comes in and fills that role, and then they leave. I don't think James Madison finds another coach, but I do think because they're at home in a rivalry game, that sparks them week 1. Boston College is not going to be good, and they're on the road against Cincinnati. Cincinnati was good last season in the top 25 for a hot sec. I think the home field advantage helps them win. Penn State and Marshall, Penn State. I'm a Penn State fan. I'm looking forward to hopefully they do well. Western Michigan, 9-3, another team that had a silent 9-3 season, won the MAC, so a 10-win season, and they do have a quarterback to watch out for, Brandon Lowry. Could watch out for him for winning the quarterback award in college football, so Michigan cannot sleep on them. Bryce Underwood, what are we going to see out of him? This is a good test. His first ever game was against New Mexico, a team that finished 9-3 last season. So a couple underrated opening games for Michigan these past couple of seasons against competitive G5 schools. Navy, I think they do take a step back. They were in the running. They were lurking in the shadows as a G5 school to make the playoffs last season, but did not get a tiebreaker to get into the American Championship. And, of course, that's who made the playoffs. West Virginia, Coastal Carolina, we've seen them in the early 2020s have some success. It's always interesting when you see Coastal Carolina and Miami, Ohio, 2 underdogs, 2 dark horses that can make havoc against bigger squads, but I think the home teams do prevail. Now, this is an interesting game. Central Michigan, a team that finished 3rd in the MAC at 8-4, I believe, and then New Mexico finished 3rd in the Mountain West at 9-3. A very underrated out-of-conference game. I think New Mexico prevails. I'm having high hopes for them this season. Oregon, Boise State. Boise State, I think the 3rd team out of the top 25 with the 3rd amount of votes out of the top 25 behind Clemson and somebody else. We remember last time they don't have Ashton Jeanty. They still do have Maddox as their starting quarterback. But we remember Ashton Jeanty carrying the Broncos in Eugene. What does this new team do? They are technically a top 30 team with the amount of receiving votes that they had. Very underrated game. Risky one because just like Oklahoma State, are they looking on to that big game the next week in Stillwater? Do they look over a good, very underrated G5 school with a lot of offense? Illinois. Nevada, I think, loses. This is where I'm not going to take the home team, Western Kentucky. Always so good and underrated in the CSU rivalry game, but this is played at Washington. The last time Washington was considered home, they played in Seattle's Seahawks Stadium. They're playing on home turf. Colorado State, New coaching staff, got the head coach from UConn to come over. I'm excited to see what they do. Do have a tougher schedule. Texas State, a very underrated team. I think they do really good in their first year as Pac-12. Even though they're considered one of the worst teams in the FBS, them and Wyoming, both of them, watch out for them. Texas cannot play around with their food too much because they got so many great games, including Ohio State the week after. Week 2 is like last year's week 1. Just so many good games in week 2. Houston, Oregon State. I think they do take a step forward. Their new head coach said, hey, it's not going to be like it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbow, but hold on. And I think this will actually be a step in the right direction for a G5 school that got left in the dust out of the Pac-12 and a very passionate fan base. James Franklin, his first game. What does Pat Fitzgerald do against a very dark horse team in the MAC in Toledo? That'll be interesting for week 1 on a Friday night game. UTSA, watch out for them. I think they're going to be hot. North Texas, not the same North Texas team. And then we get to the good games. Baylor and Auburn. Alex Goldish is the type of guy that I seen that if he had the power to move this to Jordan Hare where it should be getting played, he would, but he doesn't. It's played in Atlanta. That's why I think Baylor keeps it close because they're not going up. Yes, they're going to go up against a mainly Auburn crowd, but it's not the Jordan Hare nightmares that many teams have to go up against. Still, I think Auburn prevails. I'm hot on Auburn. Not as hot as many teams because they still have to play in the SEC. LSU, I think it's close at halftime, but I think they just smoke Clemson because of their quarterback situation. I'm not high on Clemson at all. Wisconsin, this is my upset for week 1 and one of my biggest upsets of all season. Wisconsin, last time they played in Lumen Stadium, so technically it's a neutral site game, but Wisconsin fans pack it out in Green Bay. Last time they played in Lumen Stadium, they beat the number 5 team in LSU. They played the number 4 team in Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I think they missed the playoffs. I'll tell you right here, right now, they missed the playoffs. They lose to Wisconsin, and then they lose at BYU. 10-2, Kyle Freeman. Watch out, buddy. Marcus Freeman, you could be on the hot seat next season because you're supposed to have this good team with CJ Carr, and you miss the playoffs with this schedule. Your considered only tough game is Miami at home and then maybe BYU on the road. I think they get trap game, and this is the type of game Luke Fickell has to win to not be fired. And I think he gets the major upset that he was so close to getting these past couple of seasons. Ole Miss, now this is not an unranked versus top 10 matchup. The past couple of seasons, a top 10 team has lost in one of the first 3 weeks. Many people think Ole Miss is the prime candidate to do that. I think they hold on. And I think the ground game, along with the air game, overtakes Louisville's high-powered offense. And then Florida State and SMU. Give me Florida State. Last week 1 in Tallahassee. It's so tough to go into Florida State and win, especially for your first game. Kevin Jennings, he had trouble when he played in a big stadium like Penn State in the colder conditions, but this could be just as challenging for week 1 going up against a team that Mike Norvell is on the hot seat. Yeah, give me the Seminoles and watch out for them. Now, not too many good Friday games. This is actually the only Thursday game. Florida A&M versus Miami. Boston College at home. If they somehow beat Cincinnati on the road, I think they beat Rutgers at home. Rutgers supposed to be pretty decent with their good rushing game. I don't think they're going to be as good as many people think. Let's run through this. Pitt and UCF. Underrated game. Going to be definitely in the shadows of so many great games in week 2. But we know Pitt doesn't really care about the non-conference games. I still think they win. Army and USF, I think Army bounced back. They lost to an FCS school last season, but they did get a nice upset victory against Kansas State on the road against a Kansas State team that was actually ranked. So I think they bounced back. Nevada holds on narrowly. And now this is a team that I would watch out for, Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse. Steve Anginelli is back, and with him starting, they were 3-1. They beat a ranked Clemson team. Yes, I know, it wasn't as good. It wasn't a good Clemson team, But yes, they were on a roll before they lost their starting quarterback. And I think I could have played backup quarterback for Syracuse. That's how bad their quarterback play was. Week 2, Cal coming off a big win. They're going to be energized, but I think Syracuse prevails. I think they have a couple of big upset victories at home. Wake Forest, did you know they went 8-4 last season in a very polluted ACC? Purdue, only a 2-win team last season. Only 3 wins these last 2 seasons. Give me Purdue at home. Yes, Purdue at home. That's correct. I think the home field advantage does help them get a massive victory in their eyes. They still were looking for their first Big Ten victory in 3 seasons, or 2 seasons. This will be their 3rd season going on. Yeah. I think 2 0-1 teams here, but a very underrated matchup. Memphis and Boise State. If both teams are 1-0, if both teams are 1-0, that means Boise State, I would have them as a lock probably in the college football playoff because you beat the number 2 team in all the land on the road. But still, if Memphis could get an upset victory in their first game played under a new head coach, not the best quarterback play or best roster that they would have liked for a team that is always very good in the American. Vanderbilt and Delaware, watch out Delaware because they are a very dark horse type of team in the Conference USA. Tulsa, I said they're going to have a good offensive team, and I think so. Now, UTSA versus Texas State. 2 gritty teams. I will take Texas State. A tough place to win in, actually. 2 years ago when Arizona State made the playoffs, they were down and actually losing to Texas State. That was when Texas State was considered maybe a team in the long run behind teams like UNLV and Boise State to make the playoffs. I think Texas State does win at home. And same with FAU. I think Navy takes a step back, and FAU, very, very hot offense. Now, here's a trap game here. Kentucky, their first SEC game under Will Stein. And then Alabama, their first SEC game is on the road. First Power 5 school is against a team in an area that is very upset-minded in Kentucky. I think Alabama prevails, but whoever starts for them, this will be their first start on the road and their first SEC start. So watch them maybe even be losing at halftime, but I think they do prevail. This is an underrated game, non-conference game. Minnesota, always so good at home. What does Mississippi State do with their new quarterback in Taylor? A very highly touted quarterback, but Drake Lindsey could be, some are saying with the body and build he has and the arm, kind of looks like a Drew Aller, so maybe a bust, but could have good accuracy and just roll the boat at home. It's so tough to win in Minnesota. Michigan and Oklahoma, 3 good 12 o'clock games. Oregon at Oklahoma State, Oklahoma at Michigan, and then Arizona State at Texas A&M. I think 2 of those 3 games come down the wire, and many people are picking Oklahoma. Here's the thing about Oklahoma. It seems since Brent Venables has been there, 1 season, they're a college football playoff contender. The next season, they're right around 500, 6-6, 7-5. I think with Mateer, yes, he's back. He's so jacked now, but I think the Western Michigan games wakes up Bryce Underwood because they're a good G5 school, and I think the crowd helps them get revenge from last season. Kansas State, Washington State, I'm really high on Kansas State. Watch out for Washington State, though. They could have a pretty good offense. Illinois and Duke. Illinois got the ECU transfer from in quarterback position. Not going to be as good as last season with Luke Altmaier, but I don't think Duke's that good in their first road test after maybe narrowly surviving Tulane at home. Old Dominion was 9-3 last season, actually upset VT, which got Virginia Tech's head coach fired, but I don't think it happens again. I think Old Dominion takes a big step back. Rivalry game, a game that is not going to be played for the next couple of seasons. They did have a home for these past 2 seasons. Kansas was actually up by 2 possessions last year against Missouri, a ranked Missouri team. Missouri team, I don't believe should be ranked, but they are ranked. I think Missouri, Austin Simmons, he's shown flashes at Ole Miss, got pushed in the shadows behind Jackson Dart behind Trinidad Chambliss. I think he shows out here, and they escape on the road. Very interesting environment. I don't think Kansas is going to be that good, but I don't know about Missouri. They're coin toss. Hardy, their running back, their star running back, coming off of surgery. So does he bounce back, or does the surgery halt him? ECU, like I said, they lost their quarterback. It's still a tough place to win on the road, and I guess you can consider a rivalry game. Air Force, watch out. Past couple seasons have been down, but early 2020s, like a lot of those teams out west, they were good. North Dakota State falls in their first FCS loss. BYU and Arizona, Noah Fafita is back again for seems like the millionth year for Arizona. But I think BYU, because they're at home, if they were on the road, I could see Arizona getting the upset. But I think BYU, Bear, Bachmeier gets the win. And they have Ryder Lyons as their backup. UNLV, I don't think North Texas is going to be that good this season. Penn State, yes, they're on the road, but it's basically a home game. Like I said, I could see this game going to overtime. I think Oregon wins by a touchdown or 4 points, I think. But that is going to be very good hope for these Cowboys fans. And watch out for them to be a dark horse in the Big 12. Texas A&M, they're playing the Power Fours Conference, a team that's always a dark horse under Kenny Dillingham. They do have the Kentucky transfer quarterback, so he's played in these big environments, played against SEC defenses. I think A&M, they do prevail at the end because Kyle Field is just so hard to win in. Texas Tech, Oregon State, home opener. If they were 1-0, that place would be buzzing. I still think it's going to be buzzing. We know Brendan Sorsby not the starting quarterback anymore, but we did see their backup, who is now the starter, who's the backup last season. We saw some flashes. Actually, their only loss in the regular season was when their backup started. But that was at Arizona State, so who knows. Rivalry game, I think Iowa State takes a step back because Matt Campbell's gone. But I think so does Kirk Ferentz's Iowa Hawkeyes. What is their quarterback situation? What is their ground situation? It seems like weak. It seems like defense maybe not so overpowering as we've seen before. UConn, interesting game. We've always seen them these past couple of seasons compete at home against mid-pack ACC, Big Ten type of teams, mid-pack Power 4 schools. They beat Duke last season, but remember, that coaching staff has gone to Colorado State. Give me Georgia Tech after a massive home victory to keep that going. Tennessee, quarterback situation, yes, they got a highly touted quarterback coming in, but I don't know what's going to happen. And as a Penn State fan, I know what Jim Knowles' defense, they blunder under the pressure when you need the defense to step up the most. I don't think the defense gets the big stop at the end. Give me the Yellow Jackets to storm the field. Let's just move on through these. Like I said, could be a very underrated match, underrated San Diego State team, but I think Bob Chesney gets his first win in his first game in the Rose Bowl. Jacksonville State, Ohio, two dark horses in their respected conferences. Eastern Michigan, I believe they're going to be 2-0 heading on. Pat Fitzgerald, another MAC team coming in. Not as good, so this is another late game. I want to talk about that. Then we'll save for the Ohio State-Texas game. Utah, watch out. I am high on Utah. Yes, they lost Kyle Whittingham, but most of the tough teams that they play are at home. Could we see them lose a game on the road? Yes, it's the Big 12. Nothing's predictable, but they do have Devin Dampier coming back, and that's enough for me to like them. Yes, a couple key coaches left, but their head coach, who's supposed to be getting trained, he was getting trained by Kyle Whittingham to be the next head coach for the Utes, so he knows how the system works. Give me Utah. Arkansas, they just got a tough schedule. I don't see them winning. And then give me Texas. I'm high on Arch Manning. I think he will be a Heisman finalist. I think he finishes second behind Dante Moore with Julian Sayin up there. And I don't know who the fourth guy will be. I don't think it'll be Chambliss. But give me Sayin, Manning, and then Dante Moore winning it. And I think it's going to be rocking. 2 years ago, these two teams met up, of course, in the college football semifinal, when Jack Sword had the stupid score to lead Ohio State, which helped them win national championship. Pitt and Syracuse. Pitt has had Syracuse numbers these past couple seasons, especially at Acrisure Field. I think they get it done. Miami, Ohio, and Cincinnati, rivalry game. And we've seen Miami, Ohio come into Cincinnati's building when Cincinnati's weak and win. I think Cincinnati does prevail. JMU, just not on the road. I don't believe in them. South Carolina, I'm high on them this season. I was high on them to win the SEC last season. Lenore Sellers lost a lot of weight, 10% body fat. But boy, does he still have some muscle, and that's just going to make him stronger. I'm not high on Rutgers, like I said. I'm going to get USC to escape. Rutgers always has those interesting games where they're like 2-0, 3-0 against a good team in the Big Ten. Keeps it close, but not here. This game's being played in London. I think Arizona State's bounced back, and they're red hot out of the gate and against a Kansas team that I don't think's that good. FAU, give me to win this rivalry game at home. Jacksonville State, I'm going to take these teams at home, but Georgia Southern, watch out for them in the Sun Belt. Just taking a lot of the home teams here. Give me Ohio, though. I don't like South Alabama that much. Now, here is a game where a lot of people are high on Florida. I'm not as high as many people say. I say, the winner of this game, week 3, is going to be a dark horse. You still have to play in the SEC, and this is the first season. Very rarely do first-year head coaches do good, come in under a foundation that isn't built well. You know, Kalen DeBoer, he made the playoffs the last 2 years because he was under the foundation and under the recruits that Nick Saban brought in. But this is already a night game at Jordan-Hare. You don't win night games at Jordan-Hare. That place is going to be rocking. Give me Alabama. Rematch of week 1 blunder, but Alabama at home. I think Michigan State, if they're not 2-0 heading into this game, something's really messed up. But I think Notre Dame at home. Troy, this is their only power conference team that they play, and I think they lose that. Picking a lot of the home teams. Middle Tennessee, I think they do survive. 2 weaker teams. Give me Western Michigan. I'm high on them. Georgia, Arkansas, if they could somehow upset Utah, I think they could upset Georgia, but it's not going to happen. They don't have the quarterback situation. They just have nothing going in their way. Clemson and UNC, Bill Belichick, he's going to get fired by the end of this year. This is another big upset that I'm calling. Maryland's head coach is on the hot seat, and some could say he is one of the main guys and maybe the guy to be on the hot seat. I don't think so. I do think it is Mike Norvell of Florida State. Mike Lockley, he's got the most returners out of anybody in the nation. James Franklin, this used to be a rivalry game. James Franklin used to be on the Maryland coaching staff. He thought he was going to get a job, doesn't get promoted, goes to Vanderbilt, and then we know the rest is history. But give me Maryland. Big game, James. It's not as big a game as many people think, but I think both teams are 2-0. Give me Maryland to upset Virginia Tech, a Virginia Tech team that I believe could be ranked by then. Wait, are they ranked yet? I don't think so. They should not be ranked. Actually, I think no, they're not ranked, but maybe they could be. I don't know. They don't have their first 2 games aren't that good, so I don't think they'll be ranked. But watch out for that. That could be an interesting game. Vanderbilt and NC State. I think Vanderbilt at home, we've seen them have a lot of big games. NC State, I'm high on. This is the year for NC State if they want to retain everything. I know the past couple seasons they've lost key wide receivers like Casey Concepcion, but CJ Bailey has stayed loyal to the Wolfpack. When you look back at this game, I think it's not going to look at as a good loss for the Pack, but that's because Vanderbilt is starting a true freshman in Jared Curtis. You're not expected to win many games with the true freshman in the SEC or Big Ten unless you have a good surrounding core around them, and I don't think so. I think if Curtis and a couple of those top recruits stay with Clark Lee, I think they're good in the next season or 2. Not this season. This season, you're going to need training wheels, and you can't have training wheels in the SEC. West Virginia and Virginia, I think both teams are undefeated by then, but this is if it was in Morgantown, maybe West Virginia gets the upset, but it's a neutral site. Give me Virginia. I think Colorado already has a loss. Give me Northwestern. I'm pretty high on Northwestern. I could see UTSA being 2-0. I think they do have a loss to Texas State, though. But watch out for that high-powered offense after coming off of a big win against Ohio State at home. Louisville and SMU, this could be very well a top 25 matchup because both teams could be 2-0, but both teams could very well be 1-1 like I predict. Louisville, very rarely do they lose at home against ACC opponents, and that's where SMU struggles the most. Give me Louisville to win. New Mexico, Oklahoma, underrated game because I could see New Mexico very well, and I believe New Mexico should be 2-0 at this point. Ole Miss and LSU. Give me Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, the return. You thought Tennessee return was bad. He is going to get full beer cans crushed at him. I just hope Ole Miss is 2-0 because I want this to be a top 10 matchup, and I think it very well could be. I don't see any world where LSU loses week 1. They have so much money put in this roster at home night game in Death Valley. Lane Kiffin's first game. They don't lose. I'm just nervous. Does Louisville, do they force a couple of turnovers, capitalize it, and beat Ole Miss? But I think Ole Miss gets the big upset and maybe even storm the court to rampage Lane Kiffin. I would not be surprised if that happens in Oxford, Mississippi. We've seen crazier things happen. Give me Liberty on the road. Give me Navy on the road. I'm not high on UAB. Yes, you see it. Cal. They're going to be a tough team to beat at home. They always are these past couple of seasons, and I'm not high on Clemson. A lot of people are like, Clemson can go 9-3, 10-2. No, Clemson is going to be on the verge of missing a bowl game. That's right. TCU, I think they survived the bounce house. Give me Louisiana. These two teams aren't going to be that good. Give me Tulane at home. Air Force on the road. Yes, let's go Air Force. Miami, UConn's not going to be that good this season. Give me Kansas State to survive against Cincinnati. Could Cincinnati be 1-2 at this point? Maybe losing to Boston College and Miami, Ohio at home. But I think both teams are 3-0 at this point. Give me Notre Dame. Purdue's going to be 2-1 at this point. Give me Indiana. Give me Michigan State. Pat Fitzgerald, they bounce back after their loss against Notre Dame, and they get a massive home win. The only reason why I'm picking Michigan State is because they get a big home win. They lost only by 1 score last season at Nebraska. Now, both of these teams, granted, different. Michigan State has a new head coach, but give me Michigan State to show they can compete against mid-tier teams. I think Nebraska will be pretty decent. They got that Taylor kid coming in as a recruit next season. Watch out for Kent State. This isn't your dad's average Kent State team. Watch out for them. I think they can make a bowl game this season, yes. Georgia Southern, Houston are playing a couple of interesting non-conference games. Georgia Southern, high-powered offense, but I think Houston prevails. Give me Kennesaw State. They lost a lot of production, but I still do think they survived. Oregon, they're already battle-tested. I think the final score of the Boise State game won't show how close it is. If they end up smoking Boise State and Oklahoma, I don't think they're going to smoke USC, but I think they're already battle-tested enough where USC, their only tough game is at Rutgers, and I would take the at Oklahoma State game as a tougher game than USC, and they've also played Boise State at home. USC, just a tough schedule, one of the toughest in the nation. I think that's why Lincoln Riley still doesn't make the playoffs, even though they got a couple winnable games at home. Ole Miss, they're coming off of a hot upset victory. I think it's still tough to win in Gainesville. We remember 2 seasons ago when Ole Miss, if they would have won against Florida, they very well could have made the playoffs. They ended up losing when DJ Lagway saved Billy Napier's job. I think they do it here. They bounce back against their tough loss at Jordan-Hare. Let's speed through these. UNLV. Give me Hawaii. I think Wyoming does improve. I think many people are assuming Penn State's 3-0, Wisconsin's 2-1. But hey, maybe these two teams are 3-0. Maybe Wisconsin. If Wisconsin's 3-0, they're a top 25 team heading into Beaver Stadium. If Luke Fickell could beat Penn State and Notre Dame, his job's safe. I don't think so. Very likely that he loses both of them, but I think he splits them. Tough to win in Beaver Stadium. First Big Ten game for Matt Campbell could be a struggle, though. And I'm actually going to that game. So, LSU and Texas A&M, many people saying, oh, LSU, Texas A&M, they made the playoffs last week. Marcel Reed, a dark horse for Heisman. Marcel Reed is not that good. We saw him struggle against better defenses last season. I think the schedule finally caught up to them. They didn't play as many good teams as we would have thought. LSU getting revenge from last season's loss. And I'm assuming this will be a 3:30 game, probably not a primetime game. But give me LSU. Texas A&M going to fall off. They're not making the playoffs. They lost key pieces, key coordinators. I do like Texas A&M's head coach, but I don't think they got it this year. Again, an underrated out-of-conference game. Give me Western Michigan at home, yes, but I'm high on Western Michigan again. Iowa State, I think they're 2-1. Still a tough place to win in, but I think they get it done. Oklahoma, like I said, I think they take a step back. If they beat Michigan on the road, I think this game could go into overtime. I don't think so. I think Georgia prevails at the end. Give me a couple of these road teams here. I'm taking a lot of these road teams. This game at noon, very interesting. This game's at noon, but I think Tennessee already has a loss against Georgia Tech, and I think Jim Knowles, again, the defense got to get a stop, and they don't. Arch Manning showing that he deserves to be there. UMass, they're going to be the same old UMass maybe, but hey, you never know. Baylor, their head coach is on the hot seat also. And this game, if you lose to Deion Sanders at home after losing game against Auburn already, I think he could very well be canned. Dave Aranda, and his trust is in the former 5-star DJ Lagway. I think they get a win because I'm not high on Colorado. I don't even know if they win a single Big 12 game. So I think Aranda, his job could be safe for one more year, but I think he's got to make a 9-10 win season one of these next 2 seasons. Rivalry game, but we know that New Mexico State's not that good. I think Maryland, Malik Washington, Mike Lockley keeps his job, and I think they get a massive home victory against a very underrated UCLA team. I thought that was Fresno State. That's not Fresno State. Watch out for this game. We remember USC or South Carolina almost won, barely missed on for the Hail Mary at Tuscaloosa. Some people are saying, hey, if SC is on a roll, maybe they could keep it close. I think the Alabama Crimson Tide, I think the home field advantage helps them. Give me James Madison. I'm not really high on Old Dominion this year. I think Minnesota's 3-0 at this point, but Washington, I'm high on them. Give me Toledo at home in the Glass Bowl. Give me Oregon State. There's a win that you can have. Give me Mississippi State. Get the cowbells ringing against an undefeated Missouri team. I think Mississippi State has the one loss to Minnesota, but they could storm the field. I don't think this is going to be as good as a game or good as a Missouri team and good as a win as many people think. But hey, let them storm the field. Let them show that, hey, the Bulldogs are back. When those cowbells are ringing and you got a night game in Starkville, football is better. I think it's a close one, but I think Oklahoma State survives at home. Let's head to week 5. Man, this is a long one. Give me Delaware at home. First game and the new Ryan Field for Northwestern. I think their only loss is at Indiana, but hey, they could bounce back. Everybody's going to be there. It's a big-time game. First game there. A lot of football creators going there. I think Penn State survives. This is the Penn State bias that I think gets me. And this is where I think they go 10-2, but this is where maybe they do go 9-3. I think they beat USC at home in the whiteout, but maybe they do lose a game. Some are saying maybe at home against Minnesota. I just don't see that, but maybe a game at Ryan Field Friday night. But I think Penn State prevails and shows we can win on a road. Not the biggest stadium, but it's still going to be a loud environment because it's the new game. A lot of people saying, oh, Virginia Tech, I think they got them losing to Pitt. James Franklin doesn't lose to Pitt, especially at home. Iowa, they take a step back. This could be a night game, so maybe a close one, but still. Give me Air Force, the military, over the other military school. Nebraska, Lincoln Field still. Not Lincoln Field, but in Lincoln, Nebraska, I think the home field advantage helps them. Tennessee, yes, give me them. They're already a 2-loss team. Their backs are against the walls against an Auburn team that I think is undefeated, but Tennessee still, the Neyland scares for Auburn. I think they get it done. Minnesota, I think they have the loss at Washington. So maybe they bounce back, keep this close. We've seen Minnesota, and then we've seen Michigan. They've played a couple of close games, not even in Minneapolis. So never know, but I think Michigan does prevail. Give me Florida, big road victory. Missouri, back-to-back losses. What did I say? If Missouri does go on the road and beat Mississippi State, I think they do beat Florida, but I don't think that's going to happen. Rutgers, not really high on them this year. This is a trap game. TCU. Is TCU at this point, how do I check conferences? I don't know how to check conferences. Well, this is great. Wow, very ill-prepared here. Oh, here we go. Is TCU at this point undefeated? 4-1. Who do I have TCU losing to? How do I check this? Wow, this is not good. Who do I have TCU losing to? How do I have TCU? Oh, did I just click? Maybe I just clicked them to lose. Wow, bear with me, guys. Wait, how do I have TCU? Am I blanking on something? They don't. Or did I misread this? TCU's 4-1. Conference record 1-1. Why? Why am I not? Wait. Wow, this is bad. Am I like, I must be going crazy, guys. I don't see, how is TCU 4-1 at this point? Is it because I picked BYU? I'm dumb. I can't even edit this out. Anyways, let's move on from this. TCU's 4-0 at this point. I think this could be a trap game for BYU, but I think they prevail in overtime on the road. Maybe this is big noon kickoff. Maybe this is an 8 o'clock game, but I think they survive the horrors. I could see like a team like BYU or Utah losing at TCU. It's a tough place to win at. Give me Iowa State. I think because they're at home, bottom feeders beating up on bottom feeders, I think the home field advantage does help them win. Give me USC. Washington, they're undefeated at this point, I believe. But I think USC does get a big home victory to keep the spirits high. Give me Ohio. Give me Miami. Some people can say, this could be a trap game. No, I don't think Clemson's that good. I think they already have 2 losses at that point. Give me Fresno State. They're always such an underrated team in the Mountain West. I think they're in the Pac-12 now. Give me South Alabama because they're at home. Give me Wisconsin a bounce back because they're at home. Michigan State coming off a tough loss at Nebraska. That is now their 3rd loss for Michigan State. Give me Army on the road, yes. Give me Colorado State at home. Arizona at home. UTSA on the road. Arizona State. That's Arizona. Arizona State gets a big win at home against the Baylor team that I think only has 1 loss. Alabama, another trap game, but give me them to survive. Cal and UNLV, this could be an underrated game, but I think UNLV already has that 1 loss. And I think Cal does survive. They do survive. Give me Georgia Southern on the road, though. Give me Syracuse. Remember last time they almost lost. Some could say they should have lost at home against UConn. Some are saying Fran Brown could be on the hot seat at the end of the season. I don't think so. Give me UMass at home. Georgia State at home, and then NC State, very rarely do they lose at home. I think this could be a Louisville ranked team because I think they do have a big win against SMU, maybe against Ole Miss, but I don't think so. Give me Florida State. Yes, it's tough to win in Tuscaloosa against an undefeated Virginia team, a likely ranked Virginia team, but maybe not a ranked team against Florida State because they're going to have the loss at Alabama, but maybe they're ranked after this. Maybe 2 big ranked wins at home against SMU and Virginia. I don't think they're that good on the road, but at home, tough to win in Tuscaloosa. Another underrated non-conference game. Actually, is that a conference game? Are we Is San Diego State? They're not in the. Yes, they are in the Pac-12. So that's technically a conference game. Realignment, not the best. Troy, they have a very easy schedule. I could very well see them maybe even going like a one-loss team. This was the Conference USA Championship last season. Kansas State lost on the road in regular season, but ended up winning and getting the rematch. And this is Conference USA champs. I don't think they defend their title. I think they do lose against the Gamecocks at home. Give me UTSA at home. Give me Louisville at home. Yes, Florida State after a big upset victory. Louisville at home, still tough to win. Give me Washington State on the road. Pitt at home. Bill Belichick's definitely going to be fired at the end of the season. Give me Marshall at home. Ohio at home. I don't know about that. But Ohio's so good at home. Give me Michigan State a big win, a testy win against an Illinois team just lurking around in the shadows. But Michigan State back over 500, 4-3, and showing they can compete at home. Give me Penn State. I believe this is the whiteout game. Is it announced yet? I don't know, but many people are saying this is the whiteout game. Either that or Minnesota. Just give us the whiteout game. If this is not the whiteout game, it's probably big noon kickoff and USC sleepy. So maybe the whiteout game helps USC, but I think Penn State, yes, no more big game, James Franklin, Matt Campbell, the new era, Penn State, big upset victory. They have the stretch where they play USC at home and then at Michigan and at Washington. I don't think they have a big road victory, but I think they do get a big victory in the Big Ten. Texas, like I said, I'm not high on Oklahoma. I think Arch Manning keeps his tear and reign going. Ole Miss, give me Fresno State to upset at home against Boise State. Give me Virginia Tech sneaking out a win against a Cal team that I think is really good at home. Give me Minnesota. I'm sorry, Purdue fans. I don't know. North Dakota State, is that only their second loss of the season? I believe so. Second or third. Notre Dame, their schedule is just laughable. It could be a trap game, but I think LSU prevails because I think Kentucky, the wheels fall off. Do I take, I don't know. Give me Miami, Ohio, but hey, you never know with UMass. Give me Memphis, give me Arizona, give me Temple. Just give me a lot of these home teams. Give me Wyoming, a big upset road victory. Maybe an upset, I don't know, San Jose State not supposed to be that good. Give me Texas A&M to survive against a Missouri team that I think is very depleted. Give me Arizona State. I think this is Hawaii, one of their only losses because it's so hard to win in Tempe. And Hawaii, like I said, underrated G5 school that could very well be powerful, but I don't think they can compete on the road, especially against P5 schools, against a team that is competing for a conference championship. Give me Georgia Southern at home, Washington at home. Give me Kansas State. I'm high on Kansas State this season, especially at home. Connor Wegman is still at Houston, but Kansas State, they always have that big upset victory at home, and I think they do it here. Like I said, they got Texas A&M's head coach Colin Klein. A lot of Kleins as offensive coordinator. So if your last name's Klein, maybe you got some future here. Colin Klein, Will Klein. Give me K-State, Avery Johnson. He's a college football merchant, I will say. Give me. I don't think he's going to be anything in the NFL. Maybe he doesn't even get drafted. Maybe he's like a Haynes King, but he's still got the running ability and underrated arm. Give me Georgia finally winning in Tuscaloosa, getting those Bama scares away from them. They even lost at home. They do end up winning the bigger games, tending to, since winning the national championship, finally breaking the curse. They've won the SEC championships. They won the playoff games. They still can't win the regular season games. I think they do here. Not the highest on Alabama this season. Give me UTEP. Get a win. Woohoo. Florida, I think South Carolina, their only loss heading into this is at Alabama. I think Florida, it's so hard to win in the swamp, but give me Florida to upset. Would it consider an upset? I would say so. Give me Florida to beat South Carolina, and then give me Tennessee to, I guess, survive. If you want to say that on the road, give me Air Force. Give me Northwestern. Give me Tulsa on the road. Yes, sir, Tulsa. Give me Tulsa on the road. Give me San Diego State. Yeah, I don't want to do it, but give me San Diego State. Give me San Diego State on the road. This could be a closer game than many people think, but give me Indiana to pull on the road, pull it off. And then if that was in College Park, if that was in Maryland, maybe Ohio State loses, but I don't think so. Man, I really got to speed this up. Wow, this has been a long video, but there's so many good games to talk about. Let's just start speeding through this. Do I have... give me Memphis. Troy, such an easy schedule for them. Give me SMU. They always seem to have an upset victory. Maybe Virginia's ranked at this point. I think they only have one loss. But give me Virginia. And yes, Tennessee, the same Tennessee team that lost to Georgia Tech, in my opinion. Give me them to keep their tear at home going. What, isn't that's 3 straight or 2 of the last 3 at home against Tennessee? They struggled on the road, but hey, give me them to win. And again, Hawaii and New Mexico, very big matchup for G5 schools. Give me Hawaii at home. I think New Mexico is very, very good this season, though. Give me Toledo, give me Cal, Texas Tech. Maybe an underrated game, Texas Tech and Arizona State. Give me Virginia Tech, could maybe be an interesting game. Give me Vandy. Yep, Vandy's going to get their first SEC game. And now this is a rivalry matchup. Do I trust Western Michigan? I think Central Michigan gets gets the rivalry victory at home. This is a rivalry game. If it was in Florida State, maybe in Tallahassee, maybe it isn't an upset, but not. It's a high-powered offense of Miami in Hard Rock Stadium. Do I have UNL? Do I even have ULM winning this game? I'll let the Warhawks win a game here. Give me Louisiana Tech. They could be all right. This could be an interesting game. I think both teams are mid-tier, but I think Baylor, they got to win those mid-tier type of games to keep Dave around. And give me Syracuse, upset victory at home. Yep, you heard it here. Give me Syracuse to win. Close game, but I think UNLV pulls it out at the end. Army, I think they just hogged the ball at the end to get the win. Georgia, Auburn, they're still going to struggle on the road, and I wholeheartily believe that. Give me Indiana. Many people are like, oh, Ohio State, they got the team to go 11-1. This is already their second loss. There's no shot Indiana with Josh Hoover goes back-to-back. Yes, they go back-to-back and beat Ohio State. Or not back-to-back national champions, but beat Ohio State back-to-back times. Maybe the biggest game in Indiana football history. At home, it's going to be ranked versus ranked. Maybe 2 top 10 teams. Give me Indiana and that home field advantage. Yes, a home field advantage for Indiana. Give me them to win. Give me UCLA in the Rose Bowl just because they're at home. The 2 founders, I guess you could say, the 2 guys who got left in the dust for the Pac-12, give me that. Give me Ohio. Give me Houston. I think at home, it's not really crowd noise at Houston, but I think 2 offensive clashes, and I think Houston's going to have the better defense this year. And yes, I called it. BYU in Provo upsets Notre Dame, and Notre Dame does not make the playoffs because of that. Many people are like, oh, James Franklin isn't at Penn State anymore. I think Penn State gets the upset victory. No, I think they're riding too high off the USC victory, and I think they end up dropping that. A couple of very good games, close games against 2 top-tier teams. Give me Sam Houston at this point. Bang, bang. Yes, I'm picking most of the home teams to win, but it's just so hard to win on the road. Give me SMU. Give me Baylor. Yes, I don't think Kansas is that good. Troy, another easy win. I think Oklahoma survives at Starksville, but could not and would not be shocked if another upset. And here's Indiana coming high off of that Ohio State win. They lose in the Big House. Michigan, watch out for them. I think they do end up making the playoffs, where many people don't think they make the playoff. It's going to just be a loading season for Lane Kiffin and for Carl Winningham. But they got so much money in these rosters with NIL these days. No. This is the one I've debated. If it's a night game, maybe Auburn survives. But just, yes, it's just so much money, so much talent on LSU. Maybe they don't have the team chemistry, but Lane Kiffin is a winner. Love him or hate him, he's going to win. Give me LSU. And USC survives. USC survives. Give me them to survive. Give me Virginia Tech to survive, because Clemson's not going to be ranked. So if Clemson's not ranked, then give me them to survive. Kentucky, they get a win in the SEC. I don't think this is going to be as big of a matchup as many people suspect. Heading into it, I think Texas A&M's fallen off a little bit. Same with Alabama, but I think Alabama, home team, gets the win. Give me South Carolina at home. I think they do get a couple big home wins down the stretch. Could be an underrated matchup. I don't think Houston's going to be the team that many people think, maybe a third or fourth place finish for them. Maybe a Big 12 championship appearance, but give me that. Ole Miss, Texas, I think the hype's going to boil down on Ole Miss. I think they have a couple losses, and I think Texas, especially at home, gets the win. Toledo at home. Give me Arizona at home. And then give me Oregon. We're only at week 8. Wow. This has been a long video. So if you guys still stayed, like and subscribe here. That's what happens when you just play and pick all the games. Troy, I think they survive on the road, and I think they keep their thunder going. Give me Kent State on the road, yes. And then give me Syracuse at home, because I'm so high on Syracuse for some reason. Bang, bang, bang. Yes, Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma. I don't think South Carolina, if they go 10-2, they got a couple big wins either at home or on the road. I think they don't have the road victories and the big time and the record. I think they fall short because they don't win a big time road game. I could see South Carolina either going like 10-2 or 6-6, and maybe even Shane Beamer's fired. That could be an underrated game. I think Washington does prevail, though. Give me Memphis at home. I still think Missouri's going to just be better. Give me Pitt at home. Mason Heinschel, their quarterback. Ohio State survives in the Coliseum, and this is where USC just the schedule makers just not favorable for the Trojans. If they finish 10-2, they make the playoffs. I think they just can't get the big time victories. Maybe they do at home. Maybe they do upset Ohio State and or Michigan. If they do end up beating both of them and losing on the road to Penn State, then it's fine. But they even got some tough trap games on the road. Like maybe Rutgers early on in the season or Nebraska. Ole Miss at home could very well be like a night game on ESPN. Give me them. Give me Kansas State. I don't even know if Coach Prime even has a job at the end of the season. Maybe not. LA Tech. And give me Oklahoma State. Bang, bang. Yes, give me UMass. Bang, bang, bang. I'll take UTSA on the road, but you never know with two high-powered offenses going head-and-head. Same with USF. Tough place to win on the road in ECU. Virginia Tech. SMU always gets that upset-ranked victory. I don't think it's against James Franklin. Washington gets the big victory at home, and I don't think Penn State keeps that gets that key road victory that they're looking for. Give me LSU. A lot of people, for some reason, picking Alabama. Very likely a night game, even in Death Valley. I don't care. I don't care. I think Alabama's not going to be as good as many people think. Give me Illinois at home. Give me Florida at home. Two mid-tier teams. But that's still, even being mid-tier in the SEC, you're still a very capable team. Rivalry game, Utah. 2 years ago when they didn't even make a bowl game, they almost, and some could argue, should have beat BYU at home. Some pass interference calls, some pass interference calls a lot of people disagreed with, but that's just how the game goes. Give me UNC, but if Bill Belichick, if he's not fired by then and then loses to UConn, a not so good UConn team, he's gone. After that, he might not even get played right home. It's tough to win in the shoe. We've seen Oregon do it before. But I think Ohio State backs against the walls. 2 losses already. 2 losses for Ohio State with a big quality win. They do get in. But backs against the walls here. I don't think the Buckeyes lose. Yeah, give me... Give me Kansas State. Some could say an upset victory at home, but I'm high on Kansas State. I could see very well Kansas State even being ranked at this point. And give me Ole Miss. I love what Gunnar Stockton's going to be at Georgia. He's a dog, literally, like Georgia Bulldogs. But I think Ole Miss is just so tough to win in the Grove. Give me them. Week 11. Here we go. Almost done. Bang, 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 bang. Is that a rivalry game? ULM versus Louisiana? 2 Louisiana teams. Give me Pitt. I don't see Florida State getting a big quality win on the road. Give me LSU at home. Yes, I'm high on LSU and Texas, but I think it'll be a night game. LSU ain't losing that. Iowa State, another quality win. Here we go. Give me Wyoming. Give me Washington. Troy, they just got such an easy schedule. Give me Nebraska. Mississippi State, do they get... I don't think they get the upset victory. TCU, I think they do get an upset victory against a ranked Kansas State team at home, finally getting a quality win. Kansas, they are struggling in USC. That just puts the nail in the coffin. They got a couple of tough games on the road. Give me Oregon. I think this is a good matchup on the road, like the Ohio State matchup a couple of seasons ago in Eugene. I think Oklahoma, they do upset Ole Miss, and I think Ole Miss doesn't make the playoffs because of this. Vandy, I don't think they got the Vandy magic. Maryland, they do beat Wisconsin, 2 maybe mid-tier teams. And now the winner of this game, I think, plays Hawaii in the Mountain West Championship. Hawaii, they also have an underrated game against North Dakota State. Oh, this is such a good one. I think Oklahoma State, they're at home, but they've lost a couple of games. Give me the Cowboys to upset. They do get an upset victory. And then give me NC State. I'm actually going to that game too. And then Boise State, Miami. And then Georgia State and Georgia Southern rivalry game. Give me the road team. And then almost at rivalry week. Bang. Virginia Tech, big games, James. Yep. Miami's definitely going to be ranked. So they're going to lose. Virginia Tech is going to lose. Couple home victories for UConn. Maybe an underrated game at Nebraska. Not really high on Nebraska, though. Do I have Clemson winning? Yes, I'll take Clemson to win. Give me Sam Houston. Utah, they have at TCU and at Arizona back-to-back weeks. I think they're undefeated. They could be a one-loss team. I think they hold on against TCU but lose at Arizona. One of these 2 games they're going to lose, I think. Troy and Georgia Southern, both teams could very well be in the Sun Belt Championship or for the race for that. Give me South Carolina to upset Georgia. I don't think the Notre Dame SMU game is going to be as highly touted as many people think, but give me Troy to win. Give me LSU on the road in Neyland. Give me them to win that. Give me Florida State at home. Yep, you heard me. And then Kansas State, bounce back victory. Close one. We've seen Baylor sometimes get upset victories, but give me Texas Tech to get a bounce back victory. Arizona State after Oklahoma State, big upset victory, one of their biggest wins in recent memory, but give me Arizona State at home. And then Indiana, I think they survive. I know, I just love Kirk Cinetti. They could very well be an 8-4 team. Maybe USC's the 11-1 team. You never know with college football these days. 2 more weeks to go, guys. Bang, bang. Could be an interesting one, TCU and Texas Tech. In-state rivalry, give me Nebraska. This is actually rivalry week. I don't think Texas A&M keeps their... I think Texas A&M, the haunted dreams of Texas, keeps lingering even as they head to Kyle Field. I'll give Rutgers a win. There's Rutgers a win. I think that's... If Michigan State wins that, they make bowl game. I think they start off hot, but they end up losing. Maybe an underrated game, UCLA and USC. It's in the Rose Bowl. Never know. Colorado, they get a win. Oregon at home, I think they get the win. Give me Delaware at home. Give me Cal on the road to get a big, or give me Cal at home. I'm still high on Cal. I think Alabama, I don't know the next time Auburn beats Alabama. Maybe it's when DeBoer is on his way of getting out and Alex Golesh has his feet wet and good like I think he could be at Auburn. Give me Virginia Tech because they're at home. If they were on the road, I think Virginia Tech would end up losing that. Give me South Carolina. Maybe it's a mid-tier game. Never know. Give me Notre Dame. Never know. Never know. Think I'm falling in. And, yep, give me Arizona. They're going to stay hot at home. Kentucky, maybe they get the upset victory at home. We've seen a not-so-well Kentucky team beat a good Louisville team because the SEC just has more physical talent. Give me Ohio State. I think this is going to be a game maybe for winner gets into the college football playoff and loser doesn't. But give me Ohio State at home. Everybody's on a bye. And then give me Army to win that. And then championship Saturday. Give me Miami. Give me Utah. Give me Ohio State. Or give me Texas Tech, not Utah. Ohio State backs against the wall. Do they lose this? If they end up losing this, are they out of the playoffs? Give me Ohio State to win. Give me Ohio State to win. And they get in as 11-2. The Sun Belt, or the Pac-12, they only play 11 games. The 12th game is decided on record. I don't know if that is what they're considering their championship weekend. Give me San Diego State. Let me check something real quick. Hold up. Pac-12 standings. Texas State. What is... I have Texas State making the play, or making championship at 8-3. I had Boise State going 7-4. Where was my slip up? Boise State. Oh, I have them losing to Washington State. Interesting. But I could see Washington State. Yeah, I could see them. Nah, I'm gonna go with Boise State actually winning that. So I think, yes, Boise State does actually end up making the conference championship and winning the conference championship. Okay, so that was fixed well. Sorry about that. Give me, I don't know. It's a coin flip. These two teams have played already. Give me Texas again. Give me UTSA. Give me Western Kentucky. Give me... Oh, my goodness. I messed up a little bit on these. Give me Hawaii. Give me Troy. I have Ohio beating Toledo. Give me Boise State. And then I have UTSA beating... Tulsa. Tulsa 9-3. Memphis. Who do I have Memphis losing to? Well, you guys are figuring out along with me as I make my errors. Beating Temple. Losing to Navy. I don't think that happens. I don't know why I picked Navy. So, yes, definitely. Yes. UTSA is going to beat Memphis. Okay. And then the MAC. I have Ohio here, 8-3. Oh, I haven't predicted Ohio one of their games. Oh, I have Ohio there. And okay, so I just didn't predict Ohio as one of their games. Sometimes this doesn't save all the time. So give me Ohio. They're not at... Give me... Yeah, give me Ohio over Toledo. They've had their number. So these are my conference champions. Now let me go to rankings if it'll allow me. Indiana, but I think Indiana's 11-2, and I think Ohio State's 11-2. So let's get into the CFP brackets. Okie dokie. So number one team I have is Texas. Number two is Miami. Number three is Ohio State. Number four is BYU. I think I messed that up, actually. Yeah, because BYU is not in conference championship. So it would actually be Texas Tech. Number five is Indiana. Number six, give me Utah. Number seven, give me Oregon. Number eight, give me Texas Tech. Give me BYU, excuse me. Number nine, Michigan does actually get in. Number 10, Georgia. Do I really have Georgia? Yeah, 10-2. I do have Georgia getting in. Wow. Didn't know that they would sneak in. Give me Georgia, and then, yes, there's a little bias to it, but I think Penn State's quality win enough against USC gets them in at 10-2, and then Hawaii is the group of 5 team to get in. I will show you the rankings. The rankings are a little skewed because, yes, they do have a couple of the mid-major teams getting in. But, yes, Penn State, number 14. Of course, Hawaii and Toledo aren't going to be ranked up there. So you just skip those 2, and Penn State's the number 12 team. BYU, they're 10-2. How does BYU get in at 10-2? I don't think Hold up. Oh, I have them losing to TCU. That's right. So BYU actually gets knocked out. And that means... No, that would just mean BYU would still get in. They're just not up there as much. So that means I messed it up again. Bear with me, guys. So Michigan is 8. Georgia versus Michigan first round is what I'm predicting. Wow. Penn State and then BYU. Yes, BYU will get in over. Do they? Do I won? BYU. Yeah, they have the win over Notre Dame. So I think they do get in. Over Virginia Tech. Oh, but yeah, Virginia Tech 10-3. Do they penalize? I think BYU gets in. Even though I think, yeah, Virginia Tech fans could be complaining. Give me Michigan because of the home field advantage. I think Bryce Underwood does have a bounce-back season. Give me Indiana. Give me Utah in a Holy War rematch. That would be insane. Oregon and Penn State. Give me Oregon at home. That was a Big Ten rematch. Give me Miami. Nah, give me Oregon. Give me Oregon. I'm high on Oregon. Give me Ohio State. Give me Indiana, and then give me Texas. Moving on, Indiana, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon. Ohio State goes 2-0 against Oregon. Give me Texas. Texas and Ohio State, the last game. Give me Texas. Texas, only a one-loss team. That one loss coming against... Who was that one loss coming against? Wow, I'm blinking. That one loss does come against at LSU. I thought they'd beat LSU. But give me Texas, one-loss team as your national champions. Thank you, guys. If you did, this is the longest video I may ever make. So please like and subscribe.